Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me for this quick DIY tutorial. Today I'll be showing you how to take this old busted complicated Tappan clock and replacing it with this nice compact quartz clock, as well as a clever way to get this nice unique lighted bezel effect that works well both in high and low light conditions. Anyway, let's get to it. So before we get into it, I want to start with some of the pros and cons of replacing this Tappan clock versus repairing it. Let's start with some of the pros of replacement. For one, it's very simple. Over here, you've got some of the tools that we're going to use. This is a bracket that adapts it. I printed this up. This will help us out. Here's a small one. This is a little simpler guy. It doesn't include the lighting fixture, but here is the actual clock. As you can see, very simple. Not much to it, and you can have these just about everywhere. Versus this. You don't need to be an engineer to know that there's a lot more to this. Which leads us into the second pro, which is cost. I'll include a link to this, but you can have these quartz clocks for next to nothing, and they're just about everywhere. Versus these Tappan clocks, these are rare. You know, if you want one that works, you're going to have to look for it, and you're going to have to pay for it. If you want to repair this, this isn't as simple as just cleaning this out. This really should go to a clocksmith to get it all sorted out. And we've got one of those local. They're big bucks. Another pro of the quartz clock is that they're a lot quieter. I know this clock isn't as well loved as it probably could have been, but it had quite a buzz to it. You turn it on, it would just go, and that noise just filled my tiny little kitchen. The quartz clock, on the other hand, inaudible. Okay, what are some of the cons of replacing this thing? Well, this old Tappan Deluxe stove is an antique at this point, and it's always a shame to have to be replacing original antique components with anything. So it really is a shame to see it go. Another con in replacement is that this original Tappan clock actually has a timer feature in it. You can set a time, and when it winds out, it'll buzz. The quartz clock, on the other hand, is just a clock. Anyway, now that you understand what you're getting into, if you're going to decide to repair versus replace this clock, you can make an informed decision, and we'll get on with showing you how to replace it. Here we go. We have prepped our workspace. We just laid out a towel here on top of the stove, and we unplugged it. And for this procedure, you'll just be needing a simple screwdriver and some pliers. Got it all right here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to take off the knobs. Now, this one just comes off like regular. And the other one is reverse thread. Remember, this other one is reverse thread. I did not realize that. I got it off, but I stripped it. There we go. Take it off just like that. Next, we're going to take off the chrome piece, and you're going to want to do it from this side. Grab yourself a flathead, and on either side of the chrome piece, there's a little slot you could put it in, and then make sure something soft like your finger is there. Now, once you hear it click, just be warned, this piece is loose. So what you're going to want to do is reach around and grab it in a pinch. And then pull off the chrome piece. Here we go. Here's our oven light indicator. Now we have the chrome piece out. At this point, you can actually lift out your clock face. The only thing holding it in was the chrome. So you could just pull it out, and there you go. And we'll put all this somewhere safe. From here, it's much easier to take the clock off if we remove this top piece. So we'll just grab it. It's long, so if you need someone to help you, now's a good time. And right here is a plug. Be sure to pull the plug out. And the plug is directional, so you can't put it in the wrong way. There we go. Let's flip it upside down to do the remainder. Now we have to pull out some screws. They are here, 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 and here. You don't need to pull out this one because it holds the light. Now we will take this out and carefully lay it down. Okay, I have this propped up so you can see. We're going to take off this electrical box. Put that somewhere safe. And if you trace your wires back from the clock, they end up being these two right here. Just loosen them a little bit. And you can pull the wires off. It's hard to identify these because they're all black and white, labeled 1 and 2. So the best way to do it is to just trace them back from the clock. Now that we've done that, we have access to the clock. The clock is held on by 4 screws and nuts. It's a Phillips on one side and a little hex nut on the other. But you should be able to get the hex nut with some pliers. So one is right here. At this point in our tutorial, things get a little bit fuzzy because not only have I been in here, but so is the previous owner. We've both tried to fix this and we've both messed up the original clock a little. So what you see might not be 100% what you get. We have another one down here, and when this stove came to me, it only had 2 sets of fasteners holding it in. I suspect someone else tried to fix it before me. There we go. Let's fish this out. Here we go. Here's our old complicated clock. And if you want to reuse this dial face to be getting the most original look possible, you can just take the hands off. There's 1, 2, and I remember this one being difficult. 3, and it pops off. Yours won't pop off. The metal tabs on this are folded onto the back side. So if you unfold them, then you can extract it. And now here we go. Here is our mechanism that we are replacing. Save that, just in case. So now we have everything in front of us to replace that complicated old mechanism with a standard quartz clock. Here's our clock. You can get these at craft stores or really just about anywhere, or online. You can check in the description. We got the associated clock hardware. We got the face that we salvaged off the old one. But the real star of the show here are these 2 mounting brackets. I designed this one right here. It's 3D printed. They're both 3D printed. But this white one here is what gives us that light feature. It's translucent, so we get the soft light going through the bottom. And it also has these windows that shines light into our bezel. Okay, so let's start here with our quartz clock. These kits usually come with a couple of these soft spacers. We're going to put both of these on. Now we're going to take our bracket, turn it around so the holes are facing up and the battery is facing down. And the battery facing down will just make life easier when it comes time to change it. Now here we go. Let's turn it around. We'll put our 0 facing up, a washer, and a nut. Now we're going to tighten it up ever so much. That's probably fine. And take our hands depending on the kit you got, you might need to cut down your hands. I got a mini kit, so they work just fine. But if you get a clock kit that's intended for something a little larger, you may need to cut them. Here we go, that's all together. Now is a good time to test and set this clock while we still have it out here. Close enough. If you are using lighting, now is the perfect time to run it. Check a link in the description for one of these 2-bulb strings. They're pretty affordable and they're perfect for this. we're just going to put both bulbs here and flip the other things to the other side. Here we go, we got the top part of our stove back here and all the screws are screwed in. Now we're going to take it, flip it back over. Careful to align our plug. Put that plug in there. Once that's there, we can take our clock assembly, our bezel, and our mounting screws. Grab our 2 light bulbs, and we'll put them in their sockets. We can route our wires better a little later. There we go. That slides just in there like that. We can now take our bezel and put our bezel in. Grab a screw and get it started. I tried to allow for as much room as possible on that clock, but keep a careful eye on it. You can see the second hand is ticking around right there as you install. If it stops moving, then you have issues. What's happening is your bezel is poking down onto your clock. There we go. Grab this with a couple fingers and move it around and nothing happens. We'll take this wire, tuck it back in there. Looking good. I'll just leave that on through the rest of the video. Now we're almost there. We're going to take our chrome piece and our oven on light. Here, look, we do have some utility to this. Shine this on. Make sure it says oven on and not no Nevo. We're going to take this and do the same thing we did last time. Hold it like this. Put your thumb through the hole and grab that. It's the easiest way that I have found to get this in and out. And then pinch it. So there we go. That is how you install a modern quartz clock into a vintage Tappan stove, as well as getting this beautiful lighting fixture. I love the light. I feel like this is the way it always should have been. And sometimes I just like to watch the thing go around. Just makes me happy. Anyhow, like I said, I've got it at Etsy. You can check a link in the description if you're interested in purchasing this, me having done all the engineering up front. If you're looking to go a more economical route or the DIY route, I would recommend a simple bracket like this. Regardless of what you choose, I hope you enjoy your nice modern clock as I do, and I hope this tutorial was nice and informative. Until next time, take it easy.